Some yachts are so beautiful that even after 100 years, they still look better than modern superyachts. Wood instead of steel, hand-polished brass instead of digital screens, and sails that rise into the sky like pieces of art. Long before today's floating billion-dollar megayachts, there was a golden age of yacht building, an era when ships were crafted slowly by master shipbuilders, using rare woods and timeless design. These vessels weren't just transportation. They were symbols of prestige, adventure, and extraordinary luxury. Some hosted royalty, some carried the richest people in the world across the Mediterranean, and some became legends of the sea. One of the yachts on this list once hosted Winston Churchill, Marilyn Monroe, and John F. Kennedy. Another helped inspire one of the most dramatic love stories in royal history. And all of them share something modern yachts rarely have: soul. So today, we're exploring 5 of the most beautiful classic yachts ever built. And by the end of this video, you might start wondering something unexpected. Did yacht design actually peak 100 years ago? Malcolm Miller. Few sailing ships capture the spirit of classic seafaring quite like Malcolm Miller. Built in 1968, this elegant schooner was originally designed as a training vessel for young sailors. But despite its educational purpose, the ship quickly became admired for something much greater: its beauty. With tall wooden masts rising above the ocean, and long sweeping decks crafted from warm timber, Malcolm Miller looks like something from an old maritime painting. The vessel stretches over 45 meters long, and when its sails are fully open, the silhouette feels almost timeless. For decades, thousands of young sailors learned navigation, discipline, and teamwork on board this remarkable ship. But what truly makes Malcolm Miller special is the atmosphere. Walking across its deck feels like stepping back into the romantic age of sailing. No roaring engines, no futuristic screens, just wind, canvas sails, and the endless horizon. Even today, after decades at sea, Malcolm Miller continues to sail as a living reminder of traditional seamanship. And when sunlight reflects across its polished wooden deck, it becomes clear why classic sailing yachts still capture the imagination of people around the world. But Malcolm Miller is only the beginning, because the next yacht on our list once competed in the most famous sailing competition on Earth. Shamrock V. When it comes to legendary racing yachts, few names carry as much history as Shamrock V. Built in 1930, this extraordinary vessel was designed to compete in the legendary America's Cup. The yacht was commissioned by the Irish entrepreneur Sir Thomas Lipton. At the time, Lipton had already attempted multiple times to win the famous trophy, and Shamrock V was his most ambitious challenger yet. Stretching over 36 meters, the yacht was built for speed. Its sleek hull, towering mast, and enormous sail plan made it one of the most advanced racing yachts of its time. But despite its competitive purpose, Shamrock V also became famous for something unexpected: elegance. Unlike many modern racing boats that prioritize pure performance, Shamrock V possesses a graceful design that feels almost artistic. Long wooden decks, polished brass fittings, and sails that stretch across the sky like giant white wings. Nearly a century later, the yacht has been carefully restored and still sails today, making it one of the oldest surviving America's Cup contenders still sailing the oceans. But the next yacht on our list carries a completely different story, a story connected to royalty, and one of the most dramatic love stories of the 20th century. Nahlin. Some yachts are remembered for their design, others for their history, but Nahlin is famous for both. Built in 1930 for the wealthy British aristocrat Lady Annie Henrietta Yule, Nahlin quickly became one of the most luxurious private yachts in Europe. Stretching over 90 meters, the vessel combined classic British craftsmanship with elegant Art Deco interiors. But Nahlin became truly legendary in 1936. That summer, the yacht hosted King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson during a Mediterranean cruise. Their relationship would soon shake the entire British monarchy. Just months later, Edward VIII made a decision that stunned the world. He gave up the British throne in order to marry Simpson, and the yacht Nahlin became forever connected to that historic moment. Today, after an extraordinary restoration, Nahlin once again sails as one of the most beautiful classic yachts ever built. But even royal history cannot compete with the next yacht on our list, because the following vessel is considered by many sailors to be one of the most elegant sailing yachts ever created. Elena of London. When sailors speak about the most beautiful classic yachts ever built, the name Elena of London almost always appears. Originally launched in 1910, Elena quickly became one of the most successful racing yachts of her time. With an enormous sail area and a towering mast, the yacht dominated regattas across Europe, but the original vessel was lost decades later. For many years, it existed only in photographs and historic drawings, until an extraordinary project began. In 2009, a group of craftsmen rebuilt the yacht entirely from the original blueprints. The result was breathtaking, a faithful recreation of one of the most beautiful sailing yachts in history. At nearly 55 meters long, Elena of London combines historic elegance with modern craftsmanship. Every rope, every plank of wood, every sail, carefully crafted to honor the spirit of the original yacht. And when its enormous sails stretch across the sky, Elena looks almost exactly as she did more than a century ago. But even this magnificent vessel cannot match the legend of the final yacht on our list. Because the next yacht didn't just host sailors or royalty, it hosted some of the most powerful and famous people in the world. Christina O. Few yachts in history have achieved the legendary status of Christina O. Originally built as a Canadian naval frigate during World War II, the ship was later purchased by Greek shipping billionaire Aristotle Onassis. But Onassis had a vision. He transformed the warship into one of the most luxurious private yachts the world had ever seen. The result was extraordinary. A floating palace where some of the most powerful people of the 20th century gathered. Guests included Winston Churchill, Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, and John F. Kennedy. Christina O became more than a yacht. It became a symbol of glamour, power, and elite society. One of its most famous features was Ari's bar, decorated with bar stools upholstered in whale foreskin, a detail that perfectly captured the eccentric luxury of the era. Even today, after multiple restorations, Christina O remains one of the most iconic yachts ever built. And when it sails across the Mediterranean, feels less like a vessel and more like a moving piece of history, because some yachts are simply expensive, but others become legendary. And that was our list of the 5 most beautiful classic yachts ever built. Ships that continue to sail the oceans, nearly a century after they were first launched. In a world of modern megayachts filled with glass and technology, these timeless vessels remind us of something different. An era when ships were built slowly, by hand, with craftsmanship that feels almost impossible today. But here's the real question. Will any of today's billion-dollar superyachts still be sailing 100 years from now? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy discovering legendary yachts and incredible ships from around the world, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, we'll explore even more extraordinary vessels of the sea. Some of them look so futuristic, it's hard to believe they actually exist.